Are exotical spaces being divisive? I used to listen to Chrissy's channel. I started listening to her channel in 2012. And right around 2013, I think she changed her channel from like a trending topic, celebrity kind of trending commentary to more of a colorism channel. And she said she wanted her channel to be a safe space for dark-skinned women to discuss colorism and their experiences with colorism, and they didn't want mixed and light-skinned women on the channel. When we commented, we would be ignored, and a lot of things we were commenting about were the disparaging comments that she made towards mixed and light-skinned women, and saying that we had privilege and that we were colorist and that we don't really like them for real and things like that. So whenever we would make a comment trying to defend ourselves, we would get ignored, or they would come at us and tell us that, yeah, you're privileged, and they wouldn't listen to us. And I remember when that happened back in 2012 or 2013. So I've been a subscriber of Chrissy since those days. And when she put us, MLS women out of her space, she just basically turned it into a space where they could talk and disparage about mixed and light-skinned women without any interference from us. And they wanted to discuss colorism on their own and basically make it a one-sided conversation. So when content creators accuse the Exoticals of being divisive, we often point to the many years and videos that Black women empowerment spaces have made about us, and the vitriol and the name calling, and the memes, the jokes, the lives. It was just vicious for years and years and years. And I think MLS women have been very patient with the Black women empowerment spaces. We didn't say a word in defense of ourselves. Mainly because Black women, dark-skinned Black women, and dark-skinned Black people have what you call an underdog privilege. And from what I understand, underdog privilege is a privilege that's extended to someone who is an underdog, someone who is a disenfranchised, marginalized group, and they can basically say what they want about the people who are in power, and nobody will say anything because them being marginalized and subjugated group automatically gives more credibility to what they're saying than anyone else. People started to look at MLS women as if we're privileged or dark-skinned women, and we basically became the poster child for, or the poster children for, colorism, and basically the face of it. MLS women and dark-skinned Black men have become the face of colorism, according to the Black women empowerment spaces. So when we point to that, those many years of being disparaged against, we get accused of, well, two wrongs don't make it right. You're being divisive if you say that the Black women empowerment spaces were wrong. Why are you doing basically the same thing and being divisive as well? And I think that Exoticals United has definitely addressed this several times on her channel. And basically, the answer to that is that we are basically keeping the same energy. We're keeping the same energy, and we are uplifting our own image. We're uplifting women that look like us, women who are who have the same experiences that we do. We can't divide something that's already been divisive. It was Black women, dark-skinned Black women, who started with the separatist rhetoric for years. They've been saying this for years and years and years. They didn't just say it once, or just say it twice, or just say it for a couple of days or a couple of months. They said this for literally years. They don't want MLS people around them. They want us to separate. And so when we did start off with at least making a separate space, at least on social media, then it became all of a sudden divisive and wrong for us to keep that same energy. I don't think that having dignity and self-respect is divisive. I don't think when someone has pride in themselves and having enough self-love to defend themselves when they're being attacked unprovoked daily, I don't think that is being divisive. I think that's somebody who who loves themselves and loves people that look like them enough to speak up against being attacked. And if you want to end the divisiveness, we'll start at the root of the problem instead of just attacking the symptoms. Because dark-skinned black women talk about being colorist and black men are colorist against them, but they don't mind being colorist towards MLS men. They don't mind telling MLS men in a minute, well, I don't date light skins, you're too light, and that's fine, but it's personal preference when they do it. But when dark-skinned black men say that, then it's colorist. You see the double standard? So like, you can't have it like one way, like eat your cake, have your cake and eat it too. You have to have some kind of accountability. I mean, dark-skinned people almost sound like white people when the same energy was thrown back at white people after racism. White people are like, well, no, that's not fair, you know, let's all have unity. But the thing is, whites have shown people like blacks for years that a lot of them did not want unity, so years and years and years. So it was almost as if like, yeah, I'm sure what I'm saying to you, I feel that way each and every day. I don't want unity. Just like blacks have told MLS people they don't want unity, and they did it for years and years and years. So now that, you know, you're getting the same energy, they just didn't, I think it's dark-skinned black people just didn't expect MLS people to create their own community and have the community pop at the same time. Just like when blacks started to fight against racism, the black community began to pop. So I think that's what's happening with MLS people in this day and age between the black community. I mean, this is just my opinion. You can get in the comments and tell me if I'm wrong or not, but that's what I think is happening. I think that the black community did not expect MLS people to really be serious about separating, and didn't expect the Exotical community to pop. The Exoticals also, we are known for embracing our privilege, and we do have privilege. We have privilege, we have pretty privilege, we have light skin privilege, and mixed race privilege. We have racial fluidity, and we are using it, and we are proud of it. And there's nothing wrong with having privileges. Black people in the American black people, dark-skinned black people, made it like it's taboo or wrong to have privilege, and Exoticals United basically flipped it and began asking the question, what is wrong with privilege? And pointing out also that you don't have to be light skin or mixed race to have privilege. You can also social climb and increase your wealth as well with your privileges. You can utilize every privilege that you have. There are other privileges in your like body type, height, wealth privileges, educational privileges, citizenship privileges. There are a wealth of different privileges, and she encourages women to utilize everyone that they have available to them. And she has been able to empower women of all different skin tones, even if her channel doesn't really center unambiguous dark-skinned black women. She has been able to empower unambiguous dark-skinned black women, as well as us MLS women. And she's gotten criticism from other people. They didn't really like what was happening. They didn't want to hear the MLS side of the story of colorism or hold the black community accountable for anything. But the thing about it is that in the midst of all of that criticism that Exoticals United has received, she's never taken any of her content down. She has always stood 10 toes down. All the black women empowerment spaces have taken their content down. All of the content that was being made for years disparaging against mixed and light-skinned women, they've taken that down. So nobody can see it, because they know it made them look bad. It made them look like bullies, and it made them look divisive. The same thing that they're trying to accuse Exoticals United of. But the difference between before and now is that things are starting to shift. And the real people who are being divisive in the first place, people are now starting to see them for who they are. And You can't make MLS women or MLS people the poster children for divisiveness. The black community just insists on dividing itself on all fronts. Generational divides, gender divides, skin tone divides, socioeconomic divides, educational divides. I mean, you name it, every division possible. The black community insists on dividing itself. So if you want to know if exoticals are being divisive, the answer would be simple. No, we're not being divisive. We just have self-preservation. And we have pride in ourselves. We have self-esteem. And so those things are not going to allow us to be disparaged against. And in my opinion, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.